The year is 1199. Japan's first shogun, Minamoto no Yoritomo, the military dictator who ended centuries of imperial rule, has just died. Every warlord sees opportunity. Every ambitious lord prepares to seize power. They expect the empire to fragment, the widow to grieve quietly, the system to collapse. They miscalculated catastrophically. Hōjō Masako, 53 years old, shaves her head and takes Buddhist vows within days. Society exhales. The dangerous woman is withdrawing to religious life as widows should. But this isn't surrender. It's the most brilliant political move of the century. As a nun, she cannot be forced to remarry. As a religious figure, she gains untouchable moral authority. As someone outside politics, she operates without appearing threatening. From this position, she will rule Japan for 26 years. Not as shogun, that's for figurehead she controls. Not through armies. She never commands troops directly. She rules through something more powerful, making herself the center of every network, the person everyone needs, but no one can control or eliminate. One today, we chase titles and formal authority. Masako proves the deadliest lesson. Real power comes from being indispensable, not impressive. Masako wasn't born to the highest nobility. She was born to ambition personified. Her father, Hōjō Tokimasa, was a provincial warrior with middling status and immense hunger. He understood power's secret. Strategic marriages matter more than battlefield glory. His daughter Masako was his masterpiece, beautiful, intelligent, politically brilliant. When she met Minamoto no Yoritomo, he was a landless fugitive with a death sentence, hiding from enemies, possessing nothing but bloodline and legitimate claim to lead the Minamoto clan. Masako saw what others missed. He had what couldn't be bought: legitimacy. Everything else, resources, allies, safety, could be provided. She bet her entire future on a man who might be executed tomorrow, because if he survived and won, she'd define the terms of his success rather than accept whatever role an already successful man allowed. Today's culture preaches practical relationships. Marry stability, choose security, pick the safe option. Masako did the opposite. She invested in potential over certainty, in trajectory over current position. The uncomfortable question: are we choosing finished products because we lack judgment to recognize potential, or because we're too risk-averse to invest before others validate our choice? Masako's bet paid beyond imagination. Yoritomo didn't just survive. He won the Genpei War, destroyed the Taira clan completely, and in 1192 became shogun. Real power transferred from Kyoto's emperor to Kamakura's military government. Masako stood beside him at the apex, but power came soaked in blood. Yoritomo systematically eliminated rivals, including his own brother Yoshitsune, the brilliant general whose victories had secured Yoritomo's triumph. When Yoshitsune became too beloved, Yoritomo declared him an enemy and hunted him to death. Masako watched this fratricide. She didn't leave. She understood that in their world, sentiment was luxury and mercy was weakness. She saw Yoritomo destroy rival clans, confiscate lands, crush dissent with systematic brutality. His peace was built on mass graves, and Masako participated, bearing his children, managing political networks, building the foundation she'd eventually inherit. This reveals power's uncomfortable truth. It's rarely clean. People who achieve it make compromises that comfortable observers condemn from safety. Today's lesson isn't that brutality is admirable. It's recognizing the choice she faced: maintain moral purity while powerless to protect her family, or participate in a brutal system while gaining influence to shape it. History doesn't judge. It records that she chose power over purity and won. When Yoritomo died suddenly in 1199, Masako's genius emerged fully. Her 18-year-old son Yori became shogun. Immediately, vultures circled. Rival clans, ambitious retainers, suppressed enemies sensing opportunity. Everything threatened to collapse. Masako's response was surgical precision. She became the nun shogun, wielding untouchable moral authority. She elevated her father as regent. The shogun held the title, the regent held power, and the regent answered to Masako. She built a council system where decisions required consensus among retainers she'd carefully selected for their dependence on Hōjō patronage. She maintained intelligence networks, informants everywhere that mattered, knowing plots before conspirators finalized them. The structure was brilliant. Visible power in figureheads, real power in distributed networks she controlled centrally. Attack the shogun, you attack a symbolic figure. Attack Masako, you face isolation, defunding, and sudden treason charges from sources you didn't know existed. Today's sophisticated power operates identically. The CEO is visible, but the board chair might control more. The president gives speeches, but advisors shape policy. Real power is structural, not personal. It's about controlling systems rather than holding positions. Masako understood this 8 centuries ago. Most leaders never learn it at all. Four years after Yoritomo's death, Masako's father and brother determined her son. Yoriya was becoming too independent, making alliances outside Hōjō control, threatening their power structure. Their solution was simple. Yoriya had to go. They imprisoned him, forced his retirement, then had him assassinated. Masako's 12-year-old second son, Sanetomo, became the third shogun, even more controllable. Historical records don't reveal Masako's private feelings about watching her father and brother kill her son. What's documented is that she didn't break with them, didn't seek vengeance, didn't destroy the power structure. She continued operating within the system because breaking it meant losing everything Yoritomo built and everything she'd sacrificed to preserve. Then in 1219, Sanetomo was assassinated by Yoriya's son, her own grandson seeking revenge for his father's murder. The entire Minamoto male line was extinct. Everything threatened to collapse again. Masako's response? She installed a figurehead shogun from another family, while ensuring real power remained with her brother as regent, and herself as power behind the regent. Today, we can barely comprehend this. A mother who allowed her son's murder to preserve political structure, who continued working with the killers, who prioritized dynasty over family. She understood that personal suffering is sometimes the price of larger purposes, that protecting systems can require sacrificing individuals. In 1221, Masako faced existential threat. Retired Emperor Go-Toba declared the Hōjō enemies of the state, calling all loyal warriors to restore imperial rule. The emperor had legitimacy, the mandate of heaven, sacred authority. His forces outnumbered hers. Every rational calculation said the Hōjō were finished. Masako, 65 years old, gave a speech that changed Japanese history. She assembled wavering warriors and spoke with devastating simplicity. The late shogun Yoritomo rewarded you with lands and positions after defeating the Taira. You owe everything to the shogunate he established. The emperor now seeks to destroy that shogunate and strip you of everything. Will you betray the memory of the man who made you for an emperor who offers nothing but empty legitimacy. It was brilliant psychological warfare. She didn't argue legitimacy. She conceded the emperor had it. She argued interests. Where was their wealth? The shogunate. Where was their power? The military system. Who threatened it? The emperor. She transformed the question from who has the right to rule to who are you loyal to in practice? The warriors rallied. They defeated imperial forces decisively. Go-Toba was exiled. The precedent was set. Military power trumped imperial legitimacy. The shogunate would rule Japan for 650 years. Masako won through understanding what motivates humans, not abstract principles, but concrete interests. What made Masako's victory remarkable wasn't military genius. She never commanded troops. It was that she won through pure political authority, despite holding no formal position beyond none. She wasn't shogun, wasn't regent, held no court rank. Yet when she spoke, armies moved. When she decided, policy was made. When she acted, Japan bent. This reveals power's deepest truth. It exists independent of title. Title can grant power, but title isn't power itself. Power is the ability to make things happen, to influence decisions, to control outcomes. Masako had that ability absolutely, while holding no official authority whatsoever. She built it through decades of careful relationship management, strategic positioning, information control, and demonstrated effectiveness. When crisis came, people turned to her, not because protocol demanded it, but because they knew she solved problems others couldn't. This is how real power works, not through hierarchies that can be disrupted, but through being the indispensable center of networks that can't function without you. Today's parallel is everywhere. Administrative assistants who control access to executives, veteran employees who know how everything actually works, advisors who shape decisions while leaders take credit. They've stopped chasing titles and started building power through being useful to people who matter, knowing things others need to know, solving problems others can't solve. The uncomfortable lesson: stop pursuing positions and start building indispensability. Do that for years, and you'll be more powerful than most people with impressive titles. How did Masako maintain control for 26 years over a system filled with ambitious warriors and constant intrigue? She built a human intelligence network that would make modern agencies envious. She cultivated informants in every major household, servants reporting private conversations, retainers sharing lords' plans, monks hearing confessions and passing along useful information. She maintained relationships with women throughout the aristocracy, wives, daughters, mothers, ignored by male power players, but who saw and heard everything. But information alone isn't power. It's what you do with it. Masako used intelligence surgically. She didn't expose every plot or punish every dissent. She let small transgressions pass, building obligations. She warned people privately about dangers they didn't know existed, creating loyalty. She revealed others' secrets selectively, demonstrating that betraying her meant exposure. She used information to reward allies, isolate enemies, and create a climate where everyone assumed she knew everything. So they feared acting against her, even when she didn't know. This is strategic intelligence's essence. Make your knowledge seem more complete than it is. Use information to create relationships rather than just win battles. Build a reputation where people police themselves assuming you're watching. Today's equivalents operate in corporate politics, social networks, community organizations. The person who seems to know everything, who hears about problems before they explode, who can make or break reputations, that person isn't omniscient. They've built what Masako built: systematic information gathering combined with strategic discretion. Information asymmetry is power, and networks create that asymmetry. Hōjō Masako died in 1225 at 69, having ruled Japan for 26 years without formal power. She was buried with honors befitting the shogun's widow and devoted nun. Official histories called her wise and capable. Reality was that she'd transformed Yoritomo's legacy beyond anything he imagined, creating a system where the Hōjō would rule as regents for over a century after her death. Her legacy is complicated and refuses comfortable narratives. She enabled her son's murder for political stability. She destroyed families threatening her power. She subverted the imperial system Japan had maintained for centuries. She operated in shadows while men held visible positions, manipulating without accepting responsibility. She was ruthless, calculating, and amoral in pursuing her family's dominance. Yet she created unprecedented stability. Under her rule, Japan experienced peace and prosperity. Legal systems were reformed, infrastructure built, culture flourished. She proved a woman could exercise supreme power in rigid patriarchy, not by confronting it directly, but by operating within its rules while transcending its limitations. Modern feminism has a complex relationship with Masako. She achieved extraordinary power through traditionally feminine means. Influence, not authority. Networks, not command. Manipulation, not force. She worked within patriarchy rather than challenging it. She never argued women deserved power. She simply took it while letting men think they held it. Perhaps the lesson is that sometimes the fastest path to power runs through acknowledging surface customs while ignoring their substance. She wore nuns' robes and spoke of Buddhist devotion while ruling Japan absolutely. Hōjō Masako stands alone among the warriors we've studied in Kensei Code. Musashi, Shingen, Tsunetomo, the 47 Ronin, the ninja, Tadakatsu, all operated within Bushido's masculine world, where power came from martial prowess or strategic genius. Masako operated outside that tradition entirely, yet proved more politically powerful than any of them. She teaches us that power has infinite expressions. Not all battles involve swords. Not all victories happen on battlefields. Not all rulers need thrones. Sometimes the most effective power is the kind that doesn't announce itself, that operates through networks rather than hierarchies, relationships rather than commands, information rather than force. She was never samurai, never fought a duel, never commanded an army. Yet she ruled Japan more completely than most shogun who did all those things. She didn't need the title. She made the title holders need her. She didn't need public authority. She had private power, which mattered more. She didn't need recognition. She had control, which was everything. Her story challenges every comfortable narrative about power and gender. She wasn't morally pure. She enabled terrible things. She wasn't democratically minded. She concentrated power ruthlessly. She wasn't a feminist icon by modern standards. She worked within patriarchy rather than challenging it. Yet she was undeniably effective, transforming from a provincial warrior's daughter into the invisible hand that shaped a century of Japanese history. Subscribe to Kensei Code, because once you understand that the throne is just furniture, that real power is the network of relationships making everyone, including those on thrones, depend on you, you'll never confuse appearance with reality again. Masako ruled for 26 years from a position that officially didn't matter. She proved that the shadow behind the throne is more powerful than the throne itself. That's not manipulation. That's mastery of power's deepest form.